Imagine having a place where you can keep all of your meeting notes, dates, and contacts in a single location. In this video, we'll be showing you how to set up and build the best Notion meeting system perfect for personal work, client meetings, and more. It'll include how to add your notes, contacts, and integrate it with the new Notion calendar app. If you find this useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. So let's dive right in. So let's first go to an empty Notion page, and we're going to name this meeting system. And let's go ahead and add an icon. So in this case, we'll choose something with a person or people. And you can add a cover photo if you wish. We're not going to add one in this one, but it's totally optional. And then you can go to the top right-hand corner and go to the three dots. And we're going to go with small text full width like this so that we have more space on the page. And you're also welcome to customize the fonts here as well if you'd like. So now what we're going to do is first create the databases that are going to be a part of this template. So in this case, we're going to have two databases, one for your contacts and one for your meetings. And the meetings database is going to act as both your calendar and your note storage space. So let's go ahead and type /callout. And we're going to start putting the databases in here. So let's go ahead and also choose an icon that fits the database better. So for example, this one. And we'll name this databases, and we can even bold it. So inside here, we're going to first create a contacts database. So we're going to type /page. And in here, we're going to name this contacts. And let's go ahead and choose gallery view for this. So this is going to be especially useful if you tend to forget people's names and so on. So we can go ahead and also add an icon here. So let's go ahead with maybe another person icon, such as this one. And we're going to change the view so that it's going to show the cover photo. So we can go ahead and go to the layout, and we're going to go to card preview and choose page cover. And then we can go ahead and click in here and make sure to delete all of these. And we can start editing a bit the tags as well. So we don't need the created date. So we're going to delete this property. And we do want tags. So for example, we could tag people as work, friends, and so on. So let's say that this person's name is John Smith. And we can even add a cover photo. So we could do something like this, and we can show his information under here by going to the three dots here and properties, and we can show the tags. So he's a work person. And then you can also add a few more details here. So let's go ahead and add a phone number. We can go ahead and add an email address. We can even add a URL in case he has some kind of social profile. And let's just put a random email here, as well as a phone number. And we would want to see this on the front page. So we can also just click the three dots, properties, and turn on email and phone. So now we can see all of his information at one glance. And what is going to be interesting is once we connect the contacts to our meetings, you'll also be able to see the meetings inside of each person. So that could be really useful as well. So let's go ahead and add another person here just so that we are prepared with at least two people. So we can name this person Linda Jones. And we can add a cover photo. So we'll just add unsplash photo here for a woman. But of course, if you have the actual person, you're more than welcome to add someone here as well. And this could really help you to remember people's names. So let's say that this person is a friend, and we can put email and a phone. So now if we go back to our meeting system, we have our contacts database here. So we can already store this inside the databases. And then what we can do is to type /page. And now we can continue by making a meeting database. So we're going to name this meetings. And we're going to put calendar here just so that it's easier for us to find it later. And we're going to choose calendar view for this one, plus new database. And let's go ahead and add an icon. So this is going to be a calendar icon. And now we have the calendar view here. So we can now go back to our meeting system and further put this under here for the databases. So now what we can do is to put our meeting calendar and our contacts here. So what we can do is now to type /column and create 2 columns, and we'll put the databases on the left-hand side and make a bit more space on the right side by dragging this like this. And let's go ahead and place the linked view database of the meetings on the right-hand side. So we're going to first create a heading by typing /heading, and we'll have heading 3, and we're going to call this meetings, and we're going to do /divider to have more clarity here. And then we're going to do /linked view, and we want to see the linked view of meetings calendar. So we have to make sure to choose the correct database here. And now we see it. And basically, if you edit things here, you can easily see the change also in the databases. So this is just a linked view of the main database here, and you can make whatever edits here that you want, which will also change the main database. So if we go to the 3 dots here, we can now continue by toggling off the database title so it looks a bit cleaner. So now we have this clean look here for our calendar view. And below here, we could actually put a linked view of our contacts. So we can do /linked, and we'll add the contacts here. And since it could be kind of weird to have everyone's pictures here, you can also choose to display this as a table view, for example. And then you could just show only the names here of the contacts, or however way you want to see it. And we can go ahead and toggle off database title. And let's go ahead and also do /heading 3 contacts and /divider like this. So now we can see everyone here, and we can even rename this so that it says table view. And now we can see all of your contacts list here. At the moment, we have 2, and our meeting calendar on this side, like this. So the next step is going to be to connect your meetings to your contacts. So for that, we can just add an item just to see how it looks. So let's say that we have a work meeting, and we can tag it as work so that we know it's a work meeting. And then we do want to add a property, which is going to be relation. And this is going to be related to our contacts. So we're going to choose that. And we can show it on contacts for now, but we will fix this later. And we can even rename this so that it says person. And now some other properties you might want to add would be the URL. And you can also add things like files and media, and even text property, which we'll name notes in case you want to jot something down here. So the URL can be used for online meetings. Person could be the contacts you're going to have this with. So in this case, we also recommend you to click the 3 dots here and show this person's tag. So if you're going to meet John for work, you can just simply click this one and link them in like this. And finally, one more we might suggest is to put the location. So we could just suggest location like this so that you know whether or not it's online or in person. So now we basically have the meeting set up like this, but now we don't see anything displayed here. So we have to actually go to the 3 dots here and go to properties, and we can go ahead and show the person. We can show the tags, and that's about it. So you can choose what you want to show here. So now we see work meeting and it's on this date. And if you'd like, you can add a time here. So we can include time so that it's going to start from, let's say, 3 p.m. until 4 p.m. like this. So now you can see that it's from 3 p.m. And the next thing that we suggest to do is actually to go to this blue button here and create a meeting template. So let's say that you have a certain note-taking system for work meeting. So we're going to put work meeting, and then you can start to edit inside. So for example, preparation questions / divider, and maybe you want to prepare some questions here. Then you might want to have a to-do list / heading 3, and you can put to do so that you remember what exactly you need to do in advance. And in this case, you might want checkboxes, so / checkbox. And if you want to duplicate the checkboxes, you can do Control Command D like this and add a to do. Then you have your preparation questions. And let's turn this into heading 3. And then afterwards, you can do / heading 3. And you can put action plan / divider. And during the meeting, you'll want to have the notes inside. So we recommend / heading 3 and notes. So now you kind of have this section for note taking and a section for action plan as well. So this can be either in bullet points or checkbox, depending on if you need to have a to-do list. And now we have our to-do, preparation questions, notes, and an action plan inside of this work meeting template. And we can go back. So now let's say that you have work meetings every week. You can set it up by going to the blue button here, click the 3 dots on the side, and you can set the repeat to every week. And you can choose the day it repeats as well as what time you want to create this event and save. So one downside is that you cannot populate this calendar in advance. So you will have to manually add it if you need to add a work meeting every week for the same thing. But if you need to do it quickly, we also recommend you to use duplicate. So you could just move it here like this to duplicate this meeting. But what's nice now is that you can easily load the work meeting template every time you need to take notes for this. And you have this set template where you can really take notes in a systematic way for every kind of meeting. So if you want to add a new type, you could even click the 3 dots here, duplicate it. And this could be client meeting. And then you could edit it the way that you need for specific client meetings. You can also make one for personal meetings if you want to take notes with a personal meeting and so on. And of course, you have all these options. And when you make this, you can always see them. Every time you create a new item, you have the option to click work meeting, client meeting like this. So now what we can do is to create another type of meeting, which is personal. So we can choose to add a new type here, and we'll name this personal meeting. And we'll create a new tag called personal. And then we'll choose a person here. So in this case, we'll meet Linda. And you can add everything else here if you'd like. And then what we can do is now we can choose to see these meetings in different filter views. So let's say that we want to see only work meetings here. We can rename this to work meetings. And we can now duplicate this. And we can name this personal meetings. And we can now filter by clicking the filter button by tag. And this one is only personal. So we can save for everyone. And for work meetings, we can also filter this by tag so that it's only work. And by making different filter tabs, this is going to make it easier to integrate it with Notion's new calendar app, which we'll go over soon. So next, let's actually set up a template inside of contacts so you can see all of your meetings with that person at one place. So let's say that when we open John Smith, we want to be able to see the meetings inside here in a database. Let's first change this relation property by clicking here, and we're going to choose minimal so that we don't see it quite so clearly up top. And instead, we'd like to see it inside here. So the best way to edit this would actually just be to create a database template. So we're going to drag this out a bit so we have more space, and then we can click the blue button, and we're going to name this new contact. And this is just going to load every time you make a new contact, and we're going to add an icon here. So we can choose a person, for example. And then what we want to do is to create a link to view database inside of here that shows the meeting. So we can do /linked, and we want to choose the meetings calendar. And right now it's in calendar view, but in this situation, it might be better to see it inside of a table view database. So we're going to change this to table view, and let's already toggle off the database title. And now what we want to do is to make sure that it's filtered by the new contact. So we're going to filter this by person, and we want to filter it by the new contact, save for everyone. And then we can even add another heading here. So we can go up here and we can name this one meetings /divider. And we can change this to heading 3. Like this. So now we can see all the meetings we've had with this person. So let's go back, and now we can test it out by sort of making it in the same view again. And we can click John Smith open, and let's go ahead and click new contact. So now we see that we had a work meeting with him on 27th and 20th. So this one isn't done yet, but this one is done since it's the 20th. So you can also add sort of sorts and all kinds of filters and tabs to this if you go through the database template, depending on how you want to see your meetings. So this is sort of different for everyone, whether or not you want to see all of your meetings, or maybe you just want to see the upcoming ones. So this is sort of up to you. And we can go ahead and load Linda's one as well. And then finally, what we can do also is to set this as a default database template. So we can click the 3 dots and set as default for all views and contacts. So since we only have one kind of template, we can just simply set it as a default for contacts. But in the case of meetings, since we want multiple kinds of notes, we might want to separate these and sort of choose them as you go. And if you add a meeting inside work meetings, it's automatically going to be tagged with work. And if you add a meeting inside personal meetings, it's automatically going to be tagged as personal. So we also suggest you to make a new one by duplicating. And we can just say this one is view all so that you see everything, so nothing gets lost. And we can remove the filter we had here, so you see all of your calendars here. So now if you wanted to add your work meetings to your Notion calendar app, you can simply click this open in calendar, and it's going to automatically add this. So keep in mind that whatever view you're on is going to be whatever they're going to show you in this case. So if we add that one, now we can also add the personal meeting like this. So now we see the personal meeting in purple, and then we see the work meetings in red. So this is why we suggested you to make 2 types of filter tabs if you want to sort of separate your calendar. So if you want to hide the personal calendar, you can. And if you want to see the other one, you can also do that. And one thing to note is that in this case, you can only see the database name. So it's hard to know which database view you're actually looking at. So you might want to consider that as you name the title. So this is called personal meeting, so it's very clear it's personal meeting. And you can also set whether or not this event is all day, or if you want to set a new time. It's really easy to do that through the calendar app. So for example, if we're on this calendar, the personal one, we can easily add another one here, personal meeting. And it's going to be reflected inside Notion. So if we're in personal meeting, we just added a new one here. And of course, you do have to do all of this stuff inside of the Notion app, but you'll be able to see it in your Notion calendar. And you can also see your events in a menu bar. So this is also nice if you want to combine your Google Calendar with your Notion calendar. This is a very central place you can do that. We hope that this was useful. We'll leave the completed version of this template in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, or anything that was confusing in this video, feel free to let us know, and we hope to see you in the next one.